I mean, the thing that gets me is that there is both a demand that you use that kind of language, those concepts, those texts, etc., and there's still like a vestigial commitment to pretending that you don't have a political bias, right? Like,
I know, right?
it's very strange. It's like I'm not I don't have a political bias in my classroom, but I think because what they always sort of say is, what they believe is outside of politics, right? So if they say, I'm going to teach my kids that it's okay to be trans, and obviously I believe that it's okay to be trans, but if they're going to make that affirmative argument in their classroom, right, and you say, well, that's a sort of lefty idea. It's a political bias that you're showing, and our public school classrooms are supposed to be these neutral spaces, and they'll say, oh, the idea that being trans is okay is not a political idea, right? And the thing is like, it doesn't matter if you are really sure that that's the right position. I'm really sure that's the right position, but I also recognize that it is a inherently deeply political idea, and that parents have something to say about it. I mean, the thing that disturbs me the most about all this stuff is the number of teachers who have been caught saying to their students, don't tell your parents about what we talked about today. And it's like the idea that parents are ever going to be cool with not just the stuff that you might be saying in secret, but the idea that a teacher should feel that they can say to their students, oh, this is just between us and you can't tell your parents. That is going to get at, I mean, that is where the rubber really meets the road. I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to say, like, they'll put the Black Lives Matter sign in their window, and they'll have the, in this house we believe sign out front, and they'll, donate money to the Rainbow Coalition or whatever. But if you fuck with their kid, right? Like
Right.
if you compel them, if you make them feel that you are in some way endangering the life that you've imagined for your children, the background will be very fierce. And this is one of the things, again, to bring up the San Francisco recall of those school board members, is that it became apparent very quickly that like a lot of people supported it who didn't say so say publicly, right? Like
Yeah.
people, this is something that happens more and more often, is that when you create such this is, the idea in 2016 of the shy Trump voter, right? Why did Trump outperform the polls by so much? One of the theories is just that, people don't feel comfortable telling another human being on the phone, I'm voting for Trump. But when they get into the voting booth, they can just pull that lever and do it anonymously. And I think it's the same way with this shit, where like, I just think that there's a lot of quote unquote conservatism that's going to emerge from people when this stuff really, I mean, like, so again, with these Asian American parents who, not just in San Francisco, but all across the country, are leading the charge against shuttering gifted and talented programs. They're, or making it impossible to take algebra in 8th grade, which is something that they've done in some places, which in turn makes it almost impossible for them to take calculus in high school, which in turn makes it really hard to be attractive to colleges. These parents are saying, like, they're not, generally speaking, registered Republicans, but they're saying, look, I came here to work my ass off to give my kid the opportunity to flourish academically and then climb the ladder. And you're trying to pull the rug out from under me, and you're calling it equity. And I'm not going to let that happen. And I think you're really going to see a lot of that stuff coming up.
Yeah.